Hashem Yahweh Elohim Shalom Barak Allahu Assalamu Alaikum wa Rahmatullahi wa Barakatuh. Our Father's peace, blessings, and mercy be upon everyone who catches this message. It's time for a party. Today's party is brought to you by Mafia Publications. It's a special party today. We're going to call this party Going Out of My Brainwashed Mind. I see you, Akati Mavis. Hashem Yahweh Elohim Shalom Barak. Allahu Assalamu Alaikum wa Rahmatullahi wa Barakatuh. Our Father's peace, blessings, and mercy be upon you. Today's party is dedicated to you. Happy Born Day. And yes, we are calling today's party Going Out of My Brainwashed Mind. Yes. All right, we got some visitors over in TikTok land. Let's say hi. Erica Hall, 1972, user 797395053337. Charlie Brown, 804. Hashem Yahweh Elohim Shalom Barak. Allahu Assalamu Alaikum wa Rahmatullahi wa Barakatuh. Our Father's peace, blessings, and mercy be upon you. Thank you for joining the party. We get together 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Sunday through Friday, to discuss ethics in entrepreneurship. Pastor Don, I see you. Bold Classic. That name is familiar. Sharelle White. Hashem Yahweh Elohim Shalom Barak. Allahu Assalamu Alaikum wa Rahmatullahi wa Barakatuh. Hey there, young soldier. I knew the name was familiar, it just wasn't ringing with me. Our Father's peace be with you, my brother. It's good to see you. It's very tavah to see you. User 353343161 or 6361. Hashem Yahweh Elohim Shalom Barak. Allahu Assalamu Alaikum wa Rahmatullahi wa Barakatuh. Our Father's peace, blessings, and mercy be upon you. Ray Kim. Perchance thou shalt not comprehend the cipher I speak, yet from the sanctified abyssal light, adamantine truths diffuse as zephyric wisdoms traverse the tenfold firmaments. What's your point, Ray Kim? Anybody ever tell you that you develop word salads? That's just a bunch of words. If you call yourself being deep or philosophical or any of that, you're falling short, because even in the introduction of your statement, you're saying that you want to be above someone's head beyond comprehension. What's the point of you making a statement if you're not going to communicate? Now, yeah, I could go through my brain and my vocabulary and break down each and every one of those words you used. However, what you're talking about is not relevant for what's going on with our situation. We have an agenda. Akati Deborah, I see you. DSX. Tada, thank you for the love. Tada. All right. Hashem Yahweh Elohim Shalom Barak. Allahu Assalamu Alaikum wa Rahmatullahi wa Barakatuh. DM, I see you also with your comment as well. Thank you. Tada. Awesome dreads, you say. Ta-da. Thank you. The dreads are all right, but they really are just a symbol of a vow that I've taken. The vow is way more awesome than the appearance of my hair. Thank you. Ruth. That's a powerful name. Hashem Yahavalahim Shalom Barak. Allahu Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Our Father's peace, blessings, and mercy be upon all of you. Thank you all for coming. Washed. You say, hey, Unc, huh? I don't know if you're my nephew. It's Link. Walaikum assalam. I appreciate your salutation. I will be honest with you and straightforward, though. I don't use that term. God is not considered hallowed to me. That's not halal. God is just a deity. DH Huron. What is some wisdom you would like to share? Put on your seatbelt and buckle in, because we're about to go on a ride. I'm just greeting everybody that's coming in right now. We're about to start. You go from greeting me from a deity to asking me an inane question. Ta-da, thank you for being here. You see, where I'm from, I was trained, it doesn't matter who you are. I'm supposed to greet you with the greatest greeting possible. Where I'm from, I was sent on a daily mission. And it doesn't matter who approaches me, how they approach me, whatsoever. I'm gonna do my mission. DH Huron, you think you might stay? Awesome. Awesome. Ott Coleman, I see you. Hashem Yahavalahim Shalom Barak. Allahu Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Our Father's peace, blessings, and mercy be upon you, my brother. It's very tabah to have you here. I'm getting questions all over the place over here on YouTube. This is wonderful. Thank you. The question now is, which vow did you take? So you can become a prophet. You're getting there. You're getting there, DH Huron. I took the Nazarite vow. You're getting there. And I've taken that vow time and time again. It's not about having hair that's hanging down to my feet. Because actually every time I make a vow and it gets completed, I start over. Right now, the hair that I have on my head, there's only one person in my life that could actually tell me that it's time to cut my hair. Getting away from how you used to live is the current mission. No. And please do not guess at anything. Like I said, I'm going to tell you. All right, so you don't have to guess. Shalom, Buddha, shalom. You don't have to guess. So as I was saying, we get together 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to discuss ethics in entrepreneurship. We meet up Sunday through Friday. On Sunday is nothing but questions and answers. You give me questions, I'll give you answers concerning ethics in entrepreneurship. This isn't a just you just show up and you got 20 questions for me and let's see what the guru has to say. I'm not here for that. I'm not here to do random things. I'm not here to follow distractions and who says what. No. There's already an agenda. It's been there. This particular live broadcast has been going on since the first of our year. And that is not January. The first of our year is the start of spring. This broadcast has been going since then. So what do you mean by ethics in entrepreneurship? The term ethics itself means a certain set of standards that you use, that you fall back on. When a person says you have a tabah work ethic, what is tabah? Lawful, holy, righteous. That person has a tabah work ethic. Most of you have only heard good work ethic. Well, good goes all the way back to when I said I don't use the term God, because good in its root goes all the way back to God. That word is a German term. For those of you who don't know, even though you say you're speaking English, there's very little Anglo-Saxon terms inside of the English language because it's Angle-ish. It's not even the whole thing. So put that in your mind. We're not here to do ish anything. So what are ethics? Your standards. And you've heard me mention Yahweh Elohim. You're going to hear me mention Yahweh Elohim, and you're going to hear me mention Allah. And yes, they are the same. Allah and Allahu mean Elohim. It's two different tongues. That's the only difference. And they're actually neighboring nations. They were cousins. For everybody who wants to tell you that a Hebrew can't get along with a person who practices Islam, it's because you are sorely mistaken. You don't know your studies, and they don't know theirs either. Because a Muslim gets their standards from the same stories as the Bible. Number one. DH Huron took off. Well, I'm sorry. This is my first time tuning in. You didn't do anything wrong. But say goodbye, okay? Salutations. We have a few people who've been coming in over here. Moro DeMello, I see you again. Miss Lil John, Glenda Charles 90, Mohammed Sharaf, Dennis McZeal, that's a familiar name, DMZ. Akadarius, I see you. Angela Houston, Lou Jack, Chris Davis. I think I said you, Chris Davis, 796. Over here in YouTube land, we got Easy Capone. Hashem Yahweh Elohim, Shalom Barak, Allahu Assalamu Alaikum, wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Our Father's peace, mercy, and blessings be upon all of you, your families, and your circles. Let's go ahead and get this party started. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. We seek the protection of our Father against shaitan and the evil ways while we travel the divine path. We recite surah, psalms, and prayers in order to become nearer with our Creator. At this point, I'm going to recite Surah Al-Fatiha. Basmillahi ar-Rahmani ar-Rahim, Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, ar-Rahmani ar-Rahim, Maliki Yawmiddin. Iyaka na'budu wa iyaka nasta'in, Ihdinas sirata al-mustaqim, Sirata alladhina an'amta alayhim, Khayril maghdubi alayhim, walad Darleen. Ameen. In the name of our Father, the most merciful, the most compassionate, Lord over all worlds, creator of our deen, the divine path, the most compassionate, the most merciful. We ask you to forgive us when we disobey like others have done in the past. We ask you to teach us how to forgive others when they trespass us. We thank you for giving us the deen. Ameen. When we pass away and we leave this earthly realm that we call life, it is said that each and every one of us will have our moment with our Creator, alone, individually. And we will be asked, have you heard Surah Al-Fatiha? If you've been listening for the last 2 or 3 minutes, yes, you've heard it in Farsi, and you've heard it in English. But why do you say Farsi? Because it's not Arabic. An Arab is a nomad. Arabic means customs of a nomad. Not every Arab speaks Farsi. What's Farsi? Persian. Well, I heard you say earlier that Muslims follow the Bible. Yes, they sure do. The Quran is a companion. It's not a replacement. The miracle of the Quran is the fact that Prophet Muhammad sallallahu wasallam, Allahu sallallahu wasallam, our Father's peace be upon him, all prophets before him, and all prophets after him. The miracle is the fact that he could actually tell the people the stories. No one expected Prophet Muhammad to be able to tell the people about Joseph. There's a surah in the Quran called Yusuf. It's the story of Joseph. You read that surah and then you go back and you read the Bible and it's going to tell you the same exact story. And he didn't go over to wherever area you want to talk about, whether you want to talk about Axiom, Ethiopia, or if you want to talk about Kemet, Egypt, or if you want to talk about Yahasharael, Judah, Yechavada. He didn't have to go to any of those places. They knew where he was. He lived in Mecca. And he would leave and go 7 miles outside of town and fast for 30 days. He would study, he would worship, and he would fast. 30 days. Had been doing it for years. Everybody knew where he was. He didn't go across the Persian Sea or whatever it's called. He didn't travel on a boat or nothing like that. He didn't hop on his camel and go all the way back around over there to go study in Ethiopia, no. He just went outside of town. And this is the same person that they said couldn't read. So it was a miracle that he could tell you the story of Joseph. It was a miracle that he could tell you the stories about Musa, Moses. That he could tell you about Adam, that he could tell you about Noah. That he could tell you about Yunus, Jonah. That he could tell you about Yahya, Yechavada. Well, who's that? That was the cousin of our Messiah. You know him as John. It specifically says in the Quran that that brother was given a name that nobody else ever had. His name is Yahya. Yechavada. Because Yah, if you looked at the character, is Yahweh. And if you actually break that down, it would be Yechavada. It was a miracle that this businessman, who was part of the most wealthy family in the area, it was a miracle that he was able to come back to the people and say, you know what, everything that's been going on here needs to stop right now. I don't even care about what my family does. They need to stop. This is not how we're supposed to be living. It was a miracle. And he didn't start something new. It's always been here. An imam is what some would call a preacher. However, that's a misterm. An imam is a teacher. An imam is a person who stands on the ethics and code of Yahweh Elohim, who is Yahweh, our creator, our father, Abba, Rabbi Kfirli, our greatest teacher. So an imam is one who would teach you the things that are expected of us from Yahweh Elohim, who is Elohim, Lord of all worlds. Crystal Davison, Mariam M. That's a familiar name. Hashem Yahav Alahim, Shalom Barak. Allahu Assalamu Alaikum, wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Our Father's peace, blessings, and mercy be upon all of you. Desroy Turner. Hashem Yahav Alahim, Shalom Barak. Allahu Assalamu Alaikum, wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Crystal Davison, 2. Hashem Yahav Alahim, Shalom Barak. Allahu Assalamu Alaikum, wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Father's peace, blessings, and mercy be upon all of you. Thank you all for joining the party. The water, by the way. I had some coffee earlier today when I was speaking with one of my favorite sisters. Happy born day. This party is dedicated to her born day. And today's party is called Going Out of My Brainwashed Mind. Wouldn't you just love to leave a brainwashed mind? Wouldn't you just love to find a way to not be brainwashed? And then when a person sees you and you're doing activities that a brainwashed person wouldn't do and they say you're crazy, and you want to scratch your head and think about it, who's really crazy? The one who's been brainwashed and will only do what has been programmed, or the person who bucks the system and says that's not the proper system? I want to work with the ethical standards. Going out of my brainwashed mind. Today's party is brought to you by Mafia Soy Publications. Who's that? What is a specific group? That have produced comic books, music, albums. How many artists do you know can tell you every one of my albums is actually a dedicated soundtrack? Every one of my albums is a soundtrack to a film. How many artists do you know can tell you that? I'll wait. I know of only a couple, and that's where I got the idea to even do it. And they can't tell you that every one of their albums is a soundtrack. They'll tell you that there's some tracks with some sounds on them. Big difference. Calvaron 3, familiar name. KD, Hashem Yahav Alahim, Shalom Barak. Allahu Assalamu Alaikum, wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Our Father's peace, family. Our Father's peace, mercy, and compassion. Blessings to you, your family, and your circle. Excuse me. Who is Mafia Soy? What's a Mafia Soy? Mafia Soy. Mafia Files. Comic book. You ever seen some young men get together and say, okay, we've got an idea for a story. We're not going to just write it out. You draw pictures, and I draw pictures. You've got a story in your mind, you got a story in your mind, I got a story in my mind. You write lyrics, and I write lyrics. You play the drums very excellently. Let's work together and do some comic books. And then we're going to make music so that when people read the stories, they can hear what's going on in the story, even if they don't pick up this book ever. They'll still know what's going on with the stories. Yes, let's do that. Because that's not something that DC Comics is doing, or Marvel Comics, or Image, or Dark Horse. They'll give you a book. And then later on, they might release a movie, maybe. And it might be similar to the book. But what about the actual team that writes and illustrates it are also the same ones behind the music that's going to be lined up with it? They're the same ones who are actually drawing and then setting up a storyboard so that it could be an animation. So that by the time you come along and you even see it, you may or may not even know that it actually started out as a composition notebook. Don't even know it, but if you've seen any of my content and my work, you've actually seen the comic book. And this is only one out of many. That's why it's called Mafia Files. Because if you got files, that means there's several. And you see it's in a folder, right? So that means that there's a compendium. There's a portfolio going on. That's who Mafia Soy is. Mafia Soy has a CEO and a vice president. I'm the vice president. Now, even though I'm the vice president of Mafia Soy, that's not stopping me from being the sole proprietor of Highest Heights Studio. We get together to speak Sunday through Friday because there are 10 special interest groups that I represent. I don't run 10 special interest groups. I represent them. I promote them. Some people, if you say something about promoting them, then that just means, oh, you're just another Don King. Well, what can you do to make something real flashy and get people to come check me out? I don't do that. No. If you want something flashy, that's a distraction. I'm not here to distract anybody. If I tell you come here and check this out, it's because I'm about to feed you something. And I need you to go off being full and show other people and feed them too. This isn't about glitz and glamour. User 35, 38, 46, 77, 12, 45, 83. I think I spoke to you a little bit earlier. Hashem Yahab Alahim Shalom Abarak. Allahu Assalamu Alaikum wa Rahmatullahi wa Barakatuh. Father's peace, blessings, and mercy be upon you. So why am I even telling you all about Mafia Soy? Because even though I just showed you some examples of illustrations, I don't always rely on the illustrations. Sometimes I go to AI and I prompt an image. I tell the computer what I want it to draw. Some people would tell you, oh, that's cheating. How you figure that's cheating? I can sit here and think about it in my mind and draw it out if I want to. However, what if I need 30 pictures right now? Do you know how long it takes to draw one picture? The stuff I just showed you, each of those pictures probably took at least 2 days. The front cover. Now that's the CEO's handiwork. Anytime you see that style, that's him. Now I won't lie to you, it probably took him maybe a day to actually draw the stuff. And then the next day, while he thought about it, he might have colored in some stuff. Because to be honest with you, you hand him a black and mild and a ink pen, and he's gonna go to work. That's the truth, right? So what I'm saying is this: not everybody has the gift of being able to draw. However, there are tools, and we're talking about how to become an entrepreneur. Well, I've never heard of you. That's because you don't support me, nor do you support anybody who's independent or interdependent. I know this because you don't show it. You don't know how to. And I'm not mad at you. Matter of fact, that's why I'm here. It's to show you. Out of those 10 special interest groups, each one of them has their own perspective on organic marketing strategies. Mafia Soy's perspective, of course, is concerned with music, videos, printed images. So how do you do an organic marketing perspective concerning that? There are 3 main characters in this picture right here. Yep, that is a demon. There's a person wearing a shadow suit right here. You can see a brain. You can see a heart. That suit's made out of alien technology. This thing back here that looks like a tree but not quite, looks more like a skull. That is a tree that has been taken over by some alien technology, and it actually uprooted itself and turned into a satellite. This image right here, I've taken that image, ran it through AI, and made a 1-minute video where I told AI to develop certain scenes to where it actually does look like a short anime. If you grew up watching Tom and Jerry, you know what cartoons are like. You'll see a still frame, and then you'll see one particular thing that's kind of off color. And then it'll change color again, and when it changes color again, it starts going in motion. Well, that's frame by frame, plus it's actually being layered over. Mafia Soy started back in 1999. You couldn't tell AI to generate a picture for you in 1999. It would have been hard to get a whole bunch of pictures and line them up and make sure that they're all blended together, and you did your video editing, and now you have a 3-minute video in 1999. Now, if you actually had a whole lot of money and you could afford to buy a floppy disk, possibly CD-ROM by 1999 that had a program on it, sure, $400, video editing software. Now we are walking around with studios in our pockets. I'm talking through 2 studios right now. Shalom, YouTube. Shalom, TikTok. These are 2 different devices. I can do audio editing, video editing, put something together and then upload it and send it out to where people can see it on Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, and some sites you've never heard of. OKRU, VContact, Dailymotion, Reposo. For each of you, you have your own ideas and your own concepts. I'm here to tell you about 10 special interest groups just to give you an idea of what can be done. As a matter of fact, some of you in this assembly are part of some of those special interest groups already. I'm here to tell you how you can become active in something that's already here. For each of you that'll open up the newspaper, well, now you don't open the newspaper. You go and check your email, or you run through Monster Jobs or whatever. So and so is hiring, right? Let me go and put in an application here because they're hiring. You know who's hiring all the time? All the time. Yahweh Elohim. Now, how many of you are breaking your neck to go and find a way to get employed with Yahweh Elohim? I'm talking full-time employment. I'm not talking about, I go to church on Sunday. I do a good deed here and there. No. That ain't even half-stepping. An entrepreneur has to be self-accountable. There is no check-in with the boss. You got a list of things that you're supposed to do and accomplish to make sure that your service or your product is prepared for any client that walks through the door or gives you a call. You have to be self-accountable. That means you also have to stand on your work. Your product, you have to be able to 100% back it. And if you don't deliver a quality product or service, you stand the chance of not having a way to eat. That's when it's crucial. Not, I can go show up over here at this 9 to 5 and act like I'm doing something all day. They may not like the fact that I'm not giving them the output they want, but they still gotta pay me. No. You gotta be accountable for each and every move that you make. You have to think ahead about the choices that you make, because it's a do or die scenario. Gloria Johnson, 61. Blue Shish. Interesting name. Cody Shuping. Kimberly Roshines. That name looks familiar. User 353-846-771-24583. If I say that name one more time. Hashem Yahweh Elohim Shalom Barak. Allahu Assalamu Alaikum wa Rahmatullahi wa Barakatuh. Yesterday, we were listening to one of my album soundtracks, and I was telling you that, yeah, I do produce instrumentals, and from time to time, I do use other people's music as well. When I do, I communicate with them. Hey, I really like this track, I want to use it. There was one time that I didn't. And I really did it just to see what would happen. There's a group called Portishead. They have an album called Dummy. And there's a song on there called Mysterons. I like Portishead. One of my favorite groups. I wrote out some lyrics. And I took their song. I didn't sample anything. I hit play. And then I started reciting my lyrics after I had hit record. And I recorded a whole song over their track. And then I registered it as part of an album. And I gave them credits. I said that this came from Portishead. This is the name of the album. This was the track. It's all in there. As they say, it's in the meta. It is in the artist information. So even if you were to play it back the same way you get certain information on an MP3 when it tells you performed by 3P Roach on the label of Highest Heights Studio. What's the extra information? Oh, this is the copyright. And these are the featured artists, if there are any. This wasn't a featured artist thing. This was produced by Portishead and the producers that were involved and their label. There are times where I've gotten 100 views on a track, 200, 1,000. How about 8.7 million on YouTube Music? Outside of me posting a video, I got 8.7 million views on the track. Now the problem is, the distribution company that I was using, they reneged on how the exchange was supposed to go. They just now recently shut down my account. Well, that doesn't stop anything. I've already found other sources. So when I made the announcement, I guess it was last week, when I was saying there's going to be some mixtapes out, and each mixtape actually represents a new label. And those new labels are actually coming from the 10 special interest groups. I want you to understand where that is going. If you got 10 different special interest groups with their own labels, that means they're responsible for basically a network or a channel apiece. Who remembers PBS? Public Broadcasting System, Public Broadcasting Station. See, I don't watch the news, but I do know that they're trying to disband PBS. Who knows about NPR? National Public Radio. Who knows about college radio stations? Did you know that colleges and universities are the ones who backed having PBS to begin with? For those of you who grew up watching Sesame Street and the Electric Company. What if I told you some of my songs are played on college radio stations? I didn't reach out to the college radio stations. Now, the distribution group that I was with, the company I was with, I send in the stuff and I register it. Then they place me. And I'm not talking Distro Kid and CD Baby or any of that. No. Because the group I was using was free. And I found another one that basically can do the same thing. Not only do we give you this service for free, including assigning ISRC numbers, that's the individual serial registered code for a track. If I turn in a track and it does have Portishead on it, well, since it's my track, it's going to have an ISRC assigned to me. However, Portishead already had a song out. So not only do they have an ISRC for that specific song, they also have what's called an ISWC. Now this ISWC protects them so that it didn't matter if I sampled it or if I just recorded the whole thing. Any part of it shows up anywhere else outside of the way it's originally played, that's how it gets tracked back for a person to get the rights of ownership or the rights of performance. Because that original track saved twice under two different codes. Album UPC. So when I release an album, there's the UPC number, the barcode, that number. And then for each individual track on that album. All of those are in my possession. So when you hear about your favorite artist not having ownership of their masters, it's because they didn't take the steps that I took. When I send in tracks to be registered, those are the masters. Now, the master is also that first original recording. However, that gets saved to the backside because you might have made a recording and it was fuzzy, so you had to go and fix it. So that's not the original anymore. The one that you fixed in the studio where you had to do some sound engineering. How many of your favorite artists are also sound engineers? I can name one that everybody knows. Dr. Dre. Now, who do you know produces their own music, records their lyrics, and then uploads them so that they can be distributed to the public? How many do you know? How many do you know that own their own labels? I just named one for you. How many do you know? Because you're looking at one right now. You know how you can tell? Because if you scroll down through any of my profiles for the last 3 or 4 years, you're gonna see music with a video, and there's even some kind of weird message in the details. And I ain't talking about the details of the video, I'm talking about look at the details that come with the video. What words are spoken in context to let you know what this video is about. Because when I post my content, I also put that there. So if you're scratching your head trying to figure out what's going on in that video, well, just read the little message underneath. It'll tell you what you need to know. Then if you got questions, yeah, put that in the comments now. I read all of that and I saw what you said, but what do you mean? For real. Explain this to me. That's why I put it there. I want you to interact. I want you to ask me, how did you do that? What did you mean? Where did that come from? I want you to do that. How many of your favorite artists take the time to sit down in front of you and tell you, this is not only how I got here, but I'm about to tell you how to do the same thing? Tell me. I'll wait.
Power on. Player mode.
Can't keep a real man down. Can't keep a real man down. Down the street from the kid like 5 miles. I get around the street, future juke like 8 miles. Cruising through the ghetto, taxi or an Uber car. Beat hit the concrete, no stopping me cause I won't stall. Mix a lot and prostrate, don't read the final call. Go running kayak, it's how I think, speak and talk. Dropping a leak consumer down to the start. I should she on the she had committing haram. Right up a black and mild, so for lady boy, right, but she don't want another child. Shahada my first out my mouth. First I'll be here for a while. Now in a high in a lot. As train station making through turnstiles. Busting through the gates again, I wait on the path, I'm never wild. You can't keep a real man
Down. Can't keep a real man down. Too much bass. So it's telling me that this battery going out. Battery's at like 100%. Follow the rules like in school. Scared to do what I try. Hurry up and buy. On the path and don't chase cash. It's allowed, there's no lie. I'm like a real bit like these others. Can you vibe and you die? Get on the beat and then that sweet. First the prince from Bell's Spot. Started again, that wasn't glass with some glass. Silver fan with some more on the side. Metal ratchet, keep it habits. Who wants a none for a pride? Ever since I must confess, not smothered by pride. Burn my truck like women, I ain't stuck. Catching up on some purpose for pride. You can't keep a real man down. You can't keep a real man down. Break through the scene like a flash, overdose on caffeine. Blew up my HTC with too much THC.
favorite color green, no sugar, no cream. Muddy water is all I need. Pure cane syrup, silver for caramel and chocolate dreams. My brilliance, my blind youth. I absorb solar energy. Black feet with silver hair, add crimson and sapphires, a blend me. Solar proprietor up in umbrella. Risk and chance, community chance. While you advance to gold mortgage monopolies. Like Solomon with the ants, I open up my hands. First fly high and come back to me. You can't keep a real man down. Can't keep a real man down. All silk screens for coordinating with mushrooms and mountain visions. You offer scripts, scores, having food and prescriptions. And I told you can't touch this. You should be quiet and listen up. Cover up. Just shout me loud and kicking and stacking won't make me change my decision. Your mind is place we can need LASIK to clarify what you're seeing. Confused mind thinking I wouldn't lie. On the charge for living large and rearing our children. Too much imbalance with no challenge. Bad, it's galore. And fathers missing too many mistaken in the population. While most real men are either dead or in prison. Recidivism, 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 recidivism. Stop. Recidivism, 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 recidivism. Stop it. Choices in life matters.
We rocking and rolling. We've been rocking and rolling since before the electric guitar. We rocking and rolling on a boat. We've been rocking and rolling on boats since before that boat that nobody wants to talk about. We were already on boats. Traveling, visiting, and casting nets. And if you didn't know, I do live broadcasts because I'm testing all of the time. Testing the waters, and I'm scouting new locations. That playback right there, when I end my live broadcast, however many people that was tuned in TikTok land, that's how many views we'll get for that song. However many views that are on YouTube, that's how many views go to that song. Now that would be fine and dandy if people actually paid in the way that they're supposed to as far as views are concerned. But I'm here to tell you it's not about that. I told you about the 8 million views for a reason. Even if the company that's representing me, now, they've got all the way to the first of the year. They closed the contract a couple weeks ago. That means everything all the way up to the end of this quarter still is represented by them. They still have to come clean. Now, I got the 8.7 million views between September and October of last year. And we started having some issues when I sent my message to them. Hey, I've received my quarterly report for both the period that goes into September and then from October, November, and December. I've received both of those and I don't see my view counts. What's going on? That's when there was a problem. Even if they honor it, if I open up the list that shows me on my quarterly reports all of the different platforms where my music has been placed and who all watched it and what country it was in, because I get to see all of that. When I open up that quarterly report, it's going to tell me everywhere that my stuff is being played and used because of those identification numbers. It's also going to tell me the rate that each of those places and platforms, the rate that they pay per view. There were 7 albums out there, 7 albums. Each of those albums had anywhere from 8 to 15 songs on it. So when I get to the list that says Facebook, and it goes Facebook, Argentina, Kenya, China, and I'm not making up anything, I'm telling you the truth, Namibia, Australia, not making anything up. All those names of the different countries and which particular song was being played or listened to however many times. I might see a country where I had 2 plays and they awarded me 50 cents for 2 plays. I might see another spot where it's that same song in a different country and it got 200 plays, but it's only paying out 0.0002 for those 200 plays. And then people will turn around and tell you, oh man, Spotify is robbing people. That's because you're not supposed to be relying on just one distributor. Oh, TikTok is ready to start playing games right now. They're stalling me out. Because TikTok doesn't like how I play with their toys. I'm explaining to you exactly the things that I do that they are like, nah, that's not what we want you to do when you come on this platform. We want you to sign up with us. You don't have to go to DistroKid. Just go ahead and sign in with us. Whenever you make a song, just register it with us. Now, why would I do that when they're already showing up in my quarterly report? So they're stalling me out right now. I have to prove that I'm not a robot or whatever, but it's doing the little circle thing. That means that they haven't even decided if that's what they want to do. They might just decide, okay, well, we don't like what he's talking about. I made a video the other day, and when I got done with the video, it was live. They said, here's your live highlight. This is the best because you got a token. That's how their rationale is. This was your best excerpt because right here somebody gave you a gift. So this is your best stuff. So I went back and reposted it and shared it. And lo and behold, they turned around and told me, well, we got to strike this down because it's showing tobacco and drug use and everything else. When? And why would you tell me that this was the best video to use and then tell me I can't use it? So we're rocking and rolling. We're on a boat. And TikTok is still stalling out. So I'm here to tell you there are other places we need to be. Instead of watching the circle go around, I'm going to back out of the room and go back in. Because we're not finished. Oh yeah, it's doing something super weird right now. It won't even let me back out the room. Davad, I see you. I don't know if you can hear me over there, but I see you. Down the street from Decatur.
Our grandparents, our great-great-parents would have never got caught.
The truth like 8 Mile. Sorry for the silence. I had to reboot TikTok. Exactly, Akati. Exactly. A fire mug. I don't know if I had a chance to see it. Oh. So we rebooted. For everybody who stayed in the room, thank you for your patience. Ta-da. Can I get a couple of green hearts and some crowns and some love and whatnot over here in TikTok land so that I know that we're still on the same channel and the same page? Any kind of response, anything. Just let me know that y'all are there and you can hear what I got going on. If you didn't know before, you are about to now understand and learn the reason why I always say, no, these are not safe places. Shalom, Akati, thank you. No, these are not safe places. I'm sitting here telling you all about how you can make moves interdependently, how you can make moves outside of what they shove in your face, and they decide to shut me down. We've seen this activity before. Just giving out the truth and the righteous message from the scriptures and scrolls can get you shut down. Giving out the truth about your rights concerning medical practice will get you shut down in certain places. There's a reason why I know I don't tell you 100% of the information on these platforms. This information isn't known. This information isn't supposed to be known by everybody. And I didn't go do all the studying and go do all of the struggling and then actually learn how to be successful in it just to give it away to some numbskulls who might decide to wreck an opportunity that's meant for us to be using to spread the message of righteousness. That's why I brought up PBS. Because when I was about 5 or 6 years old, even though I was watching Sesame Street and all of that, and by then I gotten old enough where I wasn't too concerned with Kermit the Frog and Oscar the Grouch and all that anymore. Even at 5, I was on some other things by then. It was a delight to watch every now and then just because, but nah. I wasn't reading Green Eggs and Ham when I was 5. I had stopped reading that when I was about 3, maybe 4. I was reading through the Bible when I was 5. They weren't talking about the Bible on Sesame Street. There's a reason why I come here, the place that we need to go. Because I've done this battle before. I've done this battle through a radio station before I attempted to do it with video. And when I did it with a radio station, my own personal 3P Rouge radio station, where I was responsible for all sounds and programming going on 24/7 for 3 months. First month was all right because during that time I was getting used to it, and they had already given me a playlist, and all I had to do was just go in and replace whatever I wanted to put in instead of the songs that they had going. The more and more that I took out the commercial songs, the more my signal started getting worse. And the problem was I was under probation. After these 90 days, if you hold so many people in your audience, then yeah, you can just keep your radio station and broadcast, do what you're doing. The more I took out 50 Cent and all the other stuff that was going on in 2013, 2014, all the people who were the top hits, get out. We're going to play Grover Washington Jr. Who is Grover Washington Jr.? Well, see, that's the problem. And that's why I was playing it. We're going to play John Coltrane. Who is John Coltrane? We're going to play the steps and learn what those octaves really are doing. Because I remember when music would actually motivate us to actually go and do things instead of sitting there feeling hatred. What's all that got to do with mafia sword and these pictures and whatnot? Took it upon myself to start making the pictures and putting them all together so that we could have our films. Because if you watch an anime and then look at the end and see all the credits, it takes a team of 1,000 people to run a 30-minute program. So if I wanted to take this composition notebook, I don't know if it tells you. Let's see on the inside. See right there? 70 sheets. And I'm sure we used up each and every one of them. Might have torn out 1 or 2 pages. 70 sheets equals 140 pages. Let that sink in. 3 guys. So really all that needed to be done was get a scan or a picture of the pictures, then line them up, place them the way that we want them to be to tell the story. We didn't know 1,000 people who knew anything about cartoon or video editing. As a matter of fact, the group that surrounded even us, we were a community of DIY artists, musicians, and artisans. What's an artisan? A skilled person who goes around doing certain services and giving certain products. That's an artisan. And most likely that artisan is an entrepreneur of some sorts. Even if it means that that person is a painter, they go and they paint the walls of your house and the ceiling and then the outside walls and the trim. No, they're not painting a picture like that. No, they're painting your house. That's an artisan, now known as a contractor. I spent a lot of time as a subcontractor. I spent a lot of time as a carpenter's right hand. That's the background that I come from. So since we were all DIY, the whole idea was, well, if we're putting all of this together, we don't want to go outside of the circle and bring somebody else in to do any of this. We need to know how to do it and put it out there. That's actually what makes it more valuable. Because if anybody could do it, just throw something together and hand it to you and say, here you go, everybody, look. It's not so valuable. But if somebody looks and they see what it took for you to do that it wasn't just some easy little thing. Like when you go on TikTok and they say, here, use this new effect. Well, after you put your little nice smiley face there and then they put the effect on it, you don't own that image anymore. Because you used their stuff. Now they own that image. TikTok can't take my image. Well, you just gave it to them. So I'm here to let you know how you can make your own augmented pictures, your own videos with effects on them, without using a platform to do it. You can go and get a video editing app that doesn't even have a watermark on it. Because when you upload something on TikTok and then you share it to another place and you see that little TikTok emblem, that means now that TikTok owns your content. They don't own my content. Well, how come they got the right to put their name on it then? Because you use their platform to publish yourself. And if TikTok doesn't know that you have a copyright on your stuff, they're going to swear up and down that they own it. That's why I'm always in a fight with TikTok. Sometimes even with Facebook, I upload a video with a song on it, I'll get a notification, oh, UMG says that this is theirs. No, it's not. UMG did not produce the track, nor did they record my voice, nor did they have anything to do with assembling the video footage. This is mine. Oh, we retract that statement and we put your stuff back. Oh, great, thank you. That's why this is a test. That's why I play music while we're doing what we're doing. One, you don't know anything really about me except for what it is that I'm telling you. So you're getting a chance to actually hear what I do outside of what you're seeing in the last 3 or 4 years, because you haven't been seeing Mafia Soy in the last 3 or 4 years. The highest heights that you've been seeing has actually been me promoting SOC without just jumping out there saying, hey, this is SOC. No, I've been showing the standards because it's beyond SOC. These are the standards we're all supposed to be following. And I found a tool where I can promote the message of being righteous under the correct standards and send it all across the world. Now, the last time I checked, if you read through the Bible, that's going to tell you that is your mission. That is your lifelong mission. You're supposed to be an example in spreading the message of slow things down. That there are some places, there are some channels we can go to where no, they're not gonna do that. I'm talking to you on Web 2 right now. I'm talking to you through a centralized platform. What does centralized mean? That means that there's a bunch of people who have invested in these channels and they do have a certain agenda. They do want you to only speak about certain terms. They do want you to only be running around acting a certain way and then posting that back up so that people will come in and tune in and watch it. And most of those people, even though they say they're the top tier content creators, aren't barely making a dime off of being registered with these platforms. Foolishness. You can make a second income as a content creator. Well, you can move on with that. I'm not here to upload my music and then get these views thinking that I'm going to eat off of royalties, because no, you don't eat off of royalties. Royalties are a second income. For each one of the songs that I've developed in these last 3 or 4 years is a song that can be available for you to be able to directly download. Whether it's contacting me or whatever individual, whichever individual, whoever individual that produced the track, you can contact them, directly pay them, and they can send you the download link. Or you can go to a specific site, visit that site, and pay with your own card or whatever you need to do. And there's going to be a webhook link. You click pay, and you get the download sent to you. You don't even have to contact me. However, it's a lot better if you do. Why? Because you may not have liked that song particularly, but you liked what was going on with it, and so you said, hey, I need you to make me a track, but I want it to sound like this, and I need these specific instruments in it, and I want it to go with this kind of cadence. Hey, I like that video that you did, but can you put so-and-so in this one? And yes, that's what I do. If you see me doing it for me, then imagine what I can do for you. Because what you're seeing is what comes out of my head. When you see the videos that come up where it's Kohelet Kofi talking, and then you hear a beat in the background and you see some other imagery going on around him. He didn't contact me and say, "Hey, brother TJ, you think while in the middle of me talking, you can do so and so after you did a screen recording and then post it up about 5 minutes after the live? Do you really think he did that?" Because he didn't. Matter of fact, I called him about the third or fourth week. I actually requested. I didn't call him because he was giving out his number. So I sent him a text. I respectfully requested to have a conversation with him because I wanted to offer my services. Brother TJ, how much is that going to cost? Well, I tell you what, yes, there is a price, but that's not what we're going to talk about right now. I see a need for you to be promoted. So this is what we're going to do. I will promote your activities, get the stuff registered, and when an actual profit does come in, I only want 25%. And that's for administration fees. 75% goes to the storehouse. And out of that 25%, I'm going to cut 12%. Because that's what's going back in the storehouse from me. Now, why would I do that? Because I already have my own products that I could sell at any given time. I'm doing this because this was my calling. Music became part of it. Learned how to play the trumpet in high school. Learned how to play the guitar when I started hanging out with the DIY artists and musicians and artisans. Because most of them worked in the kitchen and were in a band somewhere. Played the drum, played the bass, played the guitar. The band that I was in, we did musical chairs. Sometimes I'm on the drums. Every now and then, maybe on the bass. I played the guitar. Didn't know a lick about a guitar until I picked one up and was watching some people play and started trying to do what they did. Went and got a Mel Bay book, sat down and started learning some of the patterns and things that were familiar to me. And then I'm running through the chords because I knew that from reading music from the trumpet. The trumpet is the same sheet music as what you would get on a piano. So I'm just right on in there having a good old time. Before all of that, I was sampling and mixing music together with dual tape players and a little Casio keyboard, not nothing professional, just a little something. You know, recording the background music on video games and stuff. Or getting a certain track because I'm so old school. I do understand. You know, when hip hop first started, you would get your samples off of just recording that little spot right there or that little spot right there. If somebody got a record player and it's connected to a cassette player, awesome. Otherwise, I'm listening for that song on the radio to play, and I want to catch that song and record it. That's where I come from. I'm here to tell you all about how you can do it yourself and be profitable about it while doing so. And if you are working interdependently, everybody grows at the same time. I'm not going to give you all the information on TikTok. I'm not going to give it all to you on YouTube. Not everyone who contacts me is going to receive such information. I need to know your resume. And I'm not talking about you giving me a resume where you lied on it. I'm talking about a resume that you're going to have to stand on. Because your resume is going to say, I wrote my resume, fired my boss, hired myself. Give me proof that you hired yourself. Here's my business proposal. Thank you. Now, what kind of activities have you already been up to? Well, I've done this, I've done that. You got any records of it? I keep receipts. Well, I don't want receipts right now. I need to see something physical. Show me your product. Show me some pictures of your product. Show me you developing that product. What's your service? Show me you going out doing that service. And now I tell you what, I want you to spend 3 months with me. I'm going to show you how to get set up on 3 different websites. I'm going to show you how to get set up on anywhere from 9 to 11 platforms. 1 website per month. And we're going to take a whole 30 days for you to get used to working with 9 to 11 platforms. What platform? Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok. I don't go to them places. Well, guess what? There are people who are there. I didn't ask you where you go. I'm telling you how to get in front of people. I don't like what they're talking about. I didn't ask you to go in there and see what they're talking about either. I'm telling you to go post your stuff. That's why you don't see your stuff there, because you're not there. It's also why you don't know anything about me, because you're not there. I'm here to tell you about the power of that symbol called hashtag. I'm here to tell you about the power of SEO, search engine optimization. So that if a person is thinking about a certain subject and they type that certain subject in, you pop up because you've been placing content there about that subject. You pop up. I've been making people stagger here lately that I meet in public. And I'm serious about that. I'm not exaggerating. They ask me what my phone number is so they can contact me, and I say, I tell you what, I'll give you a hashtag for you to look up. You'll find out everything you need to know about me. Yeah. You don't need a phone number. You can contact me after you see what I do. Every now and then I will exchange my phone number, because I'm not a difficult person. My phone number is actually readily available to the public. It's on my website. It's on the TikTok profile. It's been there always. And I ain't talking about, oh, well, look, it's right underneath his handle. No, there's a button on my profile. It's the symbol of a phone. What do you think that is? Huh? Right next to email. There's choices. You can email me, you can call me. I would prefer that you text me, unless we've already gotten to know each other and we've had conversations before. I would rather you text me just so you let me know what's going on. Prepare me for what I'm about to walk into when I engage in conversation. This is how you handle ethics within entrepreneurship. Been on for an hour and 24 minutes. We're about 10 minutes away from the top of the hour. Did start a little bit late. Had some things going on. And ooh-wee, Akati Mavis, it started raining right before the live started. And I ain't gonna lie, I went outside and stood in it for a second. Felt good. Felt good, smelled great. Look at you using that word good, and and felt bueno. You know Spanish? How'd you like it if I started saying bueno every time instead of saying good? Would you be able to follow me? Would you understand where I'm coming from? Comprende? Entiende? Conoces? You know? You think? So, if I'm an illustrator and I do comic books, I'm an artist, and I'm telling you, yeah, I could develop the pictures for you. However, I'd rather tell you how you can develop them. I'll even tell you how to make your own videos. But first, I want you to make your own pictures and share them amongst each other. You know how you go and find some video that you like that you think other people would like to see, and so you share it off to about 20 or 30 people, and now it's in their DMs. Look at this video. Excuse me. Don't send me a video about somebody who is outside of the assembly. Don't send me a video about a celebrity. Don't send me a video about anybody who doesn't know me or is not concerned with what I have going on. And you shouldn't be tuned in to any of that either. How are you going to support somebody that don't care about you? You need to support the people who are actually in your life. Because like I said earlier, it's not about one person growing, everybody grows. Number one rule, if you didn't know. Now, number one, I'm not a capitalist, but I need you to understand this because most people aren't capitalists. So you need to understand this. One individual is not going to become a millionaire because of friends. Your friends will not make you a millionaire. Now, if you work with your friends, all of you can do something that can actually bring that in. You and your childhood friends, it's a rare occasion that you and your childhood friends grow up and then y'all all go off and become millionaires because y'all are just supporting each other. Well, this one was rich and now all of us are rich. Yeah, that comes from them rap stories. And nobody's rich because one person got signed a contract for $1 million, not realizing that they were going to have to spend $999,000 to develop their project, which means they only really got $1,000 to their name. However, they went out and spent $250,000 and gave away another $100,000. So now they are $350,000 in debt. That's the term hood rich. We got money. Yeah, what'd you do with your money? Big cars, big rims, big clothes. That all must go into escrow and collections. How about you earn every dollar because you're the one that put out the product. You're the one that's covering overhead. And then you're able to disperse everything out with the people who you work with. Not, oh, I signed a contract and now they want me to use their studio. And they want me to use their producers. And they want me to use their advertising. And they want me to run around the nation for the next 9 months, every night repeating the same lyrics. I don't think so. That was on my mind back in 99. Because in 95, 96, my friends was already telling me, man, you should be a rapper. I don't want to be no rapper. We listening to Ice Cube, and I already knew all his lyrics, so I just started changing them up. You should be a rapper. Bone Thugs and Harmony came out. My friends and I, we all had the cassette headphones. I had one of the first portable CD players. We would listen to Bone Thugs and Harmony through the CD player and listen, and it sounded great. And then we would wait for our batteries to run down in the cassette tape player so that it would slow them down and we could actually hear everything they were saying. And then if we wanted to recite the song, we can go right along with it because we had heard it both ways. You should be a rapper. You can do those things. I don't want to get signed on with any labels. You just heard what happened with Cube and NWA. I don't want to be part of that. Have you not been listening? Because I don't necessarily like some of the stuff that some of these people are saying as it is. And I also know that there's going to be a lot of people that don't want to tune into what I'm talking about. Conscientiousness does not sell on mainstream. So it'd have to be a select audience to begin with. Before I could even think about selling anything, I would have to attract people to me. Hey, this is what I do. Please come support me. That was in 1995. 30 years ago. Why I never heard of you? Because you've been tuned in to all the other stuff. Conscientiousness does not sell. And I'm not here just to get a bag. Yeah, this information that's in my head, it does cost. And yes, you have to be part of a special select group to even get invited to the classes. And the thing about it is, if you actually work with me, you'll be able to make a whole lot more than anything that I'm charging you. That's the truth. If you looked at my prices, you would laugh because they are a third of what the prices are today of a person wanting to give you the same services. And when I started those prices, it was back in 2018, 2019, and they were cheaper than the going rate even back then. Yet, I get people all the time trying to tell me I can't afford that. Well, what about that subscription that you're using over there? I need that. Well, what if you didn't use it? And instead of having that convenience, you went in with full control and did it for free. I just saved you $30 a month. Why don't you send me 10? You still keep 20 and do whatever you want. Even with whatever it is you got going on, because I just set you free. That's what I do. So yeah, within 3 months, you'd have 3 websites. You would have full control of what you're doing with your platforms and with your content. 3 months. If you're not known now, you will be known, because you're going to be out there in front of people that you don't know. Reach outside of your comfort zone. Well, I take care of my friends and my family. Well, you're going to be sitting there with your friends and your family in the same spot, wondering why we are not growing. You do have to reach out to some outsiders who don't know you. Come to find out, the ones who don't know you, they're looking for you. They want to know you. They want to know who you are. They want to know about that life, because they've never seen it. So you have been commissioned to go out and be the living example. And that means that no, you don't have somebody following you all the time with a camera showing your activities. No. A picture is worth 1,000 words. And I'm telling you, open up this website, put about 3 or 4 words describing what you want, and let the picture get generated. And then you post up that picture and give a little bit of information about it, and you let that ride. Then you go back to that same site and you say, okay, instead of 1 picture, I want 4. This is the description, because you're not going to get 4 of the same picture. It's going to be different instances. Well, you take those pictures and you line them up in sequence. Now you got some moving pictures, as they used to say. Now we're getting somewhere. Old cartoons used to last anywhere from a minute to 3 minutes. Right now, if you look at social media, they will tell you that everybody has attention deficit. Therefore, if you want to post something up, it has to be 3 minutes or less. What does that tell you? That tells you that the populace has the brain level of cartoons. Selah. If you know this, then you feed the people the medicine. Okay, your attention span is 1 minute. Well, I'm about to cook up some stew and feed it to you. Selah. I've had some people come in over here on YouTube land. Mokoteki no Michi, familiar name. Foxy Fine, maybe familiar. Dark Matter 7209, kind of familiar. Familiar. Uh, Jesus Moldano 333. ¿Qué tal? Bienvenido, Jesús. Bienvenido, Jesús. Minister Morel, it's very tall to see you. Sherry GMA. Oh, it's a familiar name. It's nighty time. I saw you come in early. I was talking, didn't have a chance to speak. Hashem Yahweh Elohim Shalom Barak. Allahu Assalamu Alaikum. Wa Rahmatullahi wa Barakatuh. Our Father's peace, blessings, and mercy be upon you, your families, and your circles. Thank you all for coming into the party. So, today's party was brought to you by Mafia Soy Publications. How many of your favorite artists can do that? Now that's all my hand. Hallelujah. All praises to Yahweh. I was told that Muslims aren't supposed to draw. No, we're not supposed to make anything that a person would worship. I don't expect you to worship what I draw. I don't expect you to worship the music that I make. And if you do, you definitely didn't get the idea from me. No. I'm here to tell you, there's only one who we worship. La ilaha illallah. Nothing else is worthy of worship except Allah. So whatever you read and see in these comic books, I'm not going to tell you, oh, this is just for entertainment and educational purposes. Or then I'll squash all that. No. We do have actual storylines. We are talking about principalities. We are talking about who acts evil and who acts tabah or halal. We are talking about halal opposed to haram. Yes. Do I want you to worship it? No. Don't ever call Brother TJ the GOAT. Ram. Eagle. Lion. Even dragon. Yeah. They say, oh, dragons are evil. Okay, well, I tell you what, I was born in 76. By that sign, I'm a dragon. And if you don't like it, that's too bad. Because even the symbol of Wu-Tang that's on my body is not just about a group that does lyrics on the microphone. It's because I was watching and studying Shaolin style when I was a baby. When I was 18 months old, I could whoop you like Bruce Lee. Whether it came out of here or if it came from here. Everything that he was doing on the screen, I was right there in front of him doing it too. To the point where now, I'm even more dangerous. And I had to make the same vow that they make in the movies. You cannot go out using your hands. Because somebody could get harmed. Like what Kohelet says all the time. There's certain people, when they get into a scuffle, they're not worried about themselves. Because they know they're going home. It's the other person. Because I don't do it for sport. You're going to be awfully maimed. Because I was trained to stop. Whatever it is that you throw at me, that arm is going to be stopped. So you can't throw that arm at me. No, that arm is going to be stopped. That leg. You ain't going to be using it for a while. That's what I was trained to do. So I try not to use my hands. That's not a brag. That's the truth. So there's all kinds of things about me that I could put in front of you. However, for these last 3 or 4 years, all you've gotten from me is, let's talk about righteous deeds. Let's talk about ethics. Let's talk about starting some businesses. Because while everybody else has been talking about, oh, wait a minute, the economy is collapsing. Well, guess what? My career got ruined back when, what was it called? Enron. When Enron happened, that ruined my career. That ruined anything that I had been training to do and able to walk into as a profession. Because I'm not just data entry. I'm not just part of the management team. I'm not part of the accounting team. I'm not part of the network administrators. I'm a company consultant. I come in and I ask you, where's your leadership team? I'm not talking about your top manager. I'm talking about your functional manager. Where? You need to talk with that person. You say you're the CEO. I need to talk with you, and also need to talk with the person who tells you the ideas that you need to have. You and that person. Come on. I don't have. Yes, you do. Stop it. Come on. That's who I am. No, you don't see me in a suit and tie. No, you don't see me with a crisp cut. Didn't have it back then either. What were you doing in 2003, 2002? Yeah, I can tell you back when all this happened. But what have you been doing for the last 20 odd years? Building up Mafia Soy, building up Highest Heights Studio, developing the ideas for the STOP program, going and getting higher education, to be able to come in front of people and say, hey, let's go ahead and start building our own communities instead of crying because they say they're going to take our tax money and build a community and then they don't. I've been listening to that for 49 years. I thought it was silly when I was little, and it's just as silly now that I'm grown. Why are you crying about telling somebody that they can take the responsibility of you? They can represent you. That's the silliest thing I ever heard. If it wasn't for the fact that in my neighborhood there actually lived an alderman, I wouldn't have been able to tell you that I've ever really met a politician. And we lived in a modest income neighborhood. I went to school with his daughter in public school. That's how I even knew what an alderman is. Because even in our precinct, we didn't have aldermen. He was an alderman for another city, for another zone. I knew what an alderman was before we even started talking about checks and balances in civics. Because I was in school with his daughter from first grade up to 11th grade, because after 11th grade, I transferred to a different school district. And we weren't upper class, ritzy, or anything like that. We were average, normal people. Like I said, moderate income. 3-bedroom house, 1 bath. Kitchen, dining room, connected. 1 room, basically. Living room off to the side, carport outside. Moderate means. Got a vehicle, lucky to have 2. Moderate means. Go to her house, the daughter of the alderman, same thing. Only differences in our houses was the wood paneling outside, the color, and the bricks. Mine had more bricks. Her house was dark blue, mine was white. I'm here to tell you all, the time has come where we don't need to be sitting around arguing back and forth with each other. We need to be building our teams and becoming active immediately. And I'm here to tell you that these 10 special interest groups are already saying, here are some positions for you to be in. So I need you to be paying attention when I come on and I start talking. Because I need you to say, hey, I want to be in that group. I have these skills. Let me go over here and do that. I need people, not ideas. I need people who already have skills, who want to go ahead and put them to use. And for anything that you have any concerns or questions about, or even suggestions, this is open so that we actually all can communicate. The Promise Keepers is a closed group. However, that's not the end all be all. The real test is reach out of your own box and contact me. It shouldn't be on me to reach out and tap each and everybody on the shoulder. I'm doing that right now. I'm telling you, hey, contact me. What's stopping you? Don't tell me I've been thinking about it. Well, come on and tell me what you're thinking about. Let's go ahead and make it concrete. Let's make it real. Because you can think about it for the next 20 years while you're watching this world just deteriorate the whole time. Because that's what's been happening for the last 6,000 to 8,000 years. The world's been deteriorating because people haven't been spreading the message of living by righteous standards. So while you want to sit over there and think about it, I'm active. And I'm looking for other people who are active. If you're so worried about getting grafted in and who's really going to be part of the number is not those who are just sitting and thinking. Nobody ever told you this, but if all you're doing is sitting there and thinking, you're actually sinning. Because we've been told to act. We've been told to move. Anybody can think. They made a statue of a thinker. Is that the best you got? Selah. Ayúdame. Help me. When you see someone who needs help, don't wait for them to tell you that they need help. Don't wait for them to ask. If you see that they need help, go do something. Go do something to help them. Do whatever it is within your own capacity or go find somebody else. Either way, fix the situation. Don't expect a thank you. We're not doing this for that. We're doing this because people don't believe that there is power in the unseen, in the intangible. What is not tangible, what cannot be touched, what cannot be seen, what cannot be heard, as far as their perception is concerned. Because most people only rely on their five senses. And we are told all the time that your five senses can easily lie to you. Some people aren't born with sight. However, they have faith in a higher power because they know that they didn't make this existence. Their parents didn't make this existence. No world political, politician. They didn't make the world. And none of them can stop the time. It's people who are deaf, who still have faith that that bird is singing even though they can't hear it. That's the same faith that we are supposed to be showing and giving an example of. So when you see someone who is in need, you know inside that you can do something, so you just go do it. That's representing the standards of Yahweh Elohim. It's not about, oh, well, I sent a prayer up to the heavens and my answer is going to come as a blessing raining down from the clouds. Well, you're sadly mistaken. That's not how it works. You're in need. You will be assisted by someone, whether they're from the kingdom or not. Someone will be sent to you who will assist you. It doesn't come as a care package with a parachute floating down from the sky. It comes from somebody else who is a vessel, whether they are a willing vessel or not. You make the choice on whether or not you're going to be a willing vessel. All of the time. Not just on a moment, not just on a certain day. All of the time, because that is the proof of the kingdom of Yahweh Elohim. That's the proof of heaven. That is the pact. That's the standard. That's the testament. That's the agreement. From beginning all the way up to what we were told to do in Revelations. Come, Yahasharayel, rise up out of Babylon. Hezan, Yahasharayel, rejoice, revel. Because we don't have to be part of Babylon. We take up our tendencies on what we're supposed to do, and Babylon crumbles. Don't believe me? Well, you tell me how come, with all of the chaos and confusion going on, for all of the people who are, even though they're arguing, they're walking away from Babylonian tendencies. So now all you're seeing is a bunch of people crying about how their system is falling. It shouldn't have been standing anyway. There's an original system. And that's what we're supposed to be living under, through, with, by that system. The system made by our Creator, not the whims of man, or even woman for that matter. No, there's an actual standard that everybody's supposed to live by. And those who don't, they are identified easily because they're not walking the whole 100% walk. So yes, that's correct. You don't say, well, I don't cuss on Sunday, so I'm holy. I give something to a homeless person once every time I get paid. Well, you're getting close. But did you really know that charity is meant to be dispersed between those who are actually in the assembly? It's not just supposed to be given to a stranger. You've heard people say, well, I don't know what they're going to do with the money if I give it to them. Well, there you go. If you have doubts that they're even part of the kingdom and they're going to run off and do whatever, well, the first thing is you're supposed to be a minister to them and at least ask them, have you considered Yahweh Elohim? Do you pray? What do you pray about? How do you pray? What do you know about Yahweh Elohim? You don't have to be a preacher or give them a sermon or anything. Get to know the person. Don't just shove some money in their face or shove some food at them. Find out who they are and what they have going on. Find out how you could actually help them out if they need help. Maybe they do just want to sit under that tree. Maybe they actually do have somebody that's coming by in a couple of hours to pick them up, take them off to do a task. Instead of whatever it is that you are assuming in your mind. You never know until you meet that person. That person might actually have a scripture or scroll that you needed in your life. Selah. Hashtag kindness is contagious. Ahava, Ahaba. Our Creator is love. Ahaba, Ahaba. Love is love. Living by Yahweh's standards is complete compassion. Amitaba, Ametofo. Those are ways of saying compassion in both Chinese and Japanese. Go out there and be a reason why somebody else smiles. Go do a kind turn for somebody else. Stop and open and hold the door for somebody else to go through. If you're walking along and you see somebody else about to cross your path, you stop. What are you in a hurry for? What are those 3 seconds gonna cost you? You walking along and you hear somebody spitting and cussing and fussing? You okay? No. Listen, don't say nothing. If they actually do go ahead and talk, listen. Because by the time they get through talking, you might find out they've got the biggest heart in the world and somebody just stepped on it. And they needed a reassurance of humanity. And you're giving it to them because their day just got ruined by whoever. And you stop them and you say, hold on. What's wrong? Get that off your chest. I ain't gonna give you no advice or nothing. I just wanna know. If you don't mind, tell me. Now after you get done, I might say something. But right now, what's on your mind? What's got you this way? That might be the introduction for them to want to walk into the kingdom of Yahweh Elohim. What about Jerusalem? I want you to go and read your Bible because there's a certain city that you don't get to hear about too often. Yahweh is there. That's the name of the city. Jerusalem doesn't mean Yahweh is there. I don't care how you try to put those characters together. No, that's not what that says. There's a specific city. And I'll help you out. Is it in Ezekiel? I think so. The book of Ezekiel, chapters 40 through 48. It's funny, the guy called me Ezekiel the other day at the phone company. And I couldn't do nothing but smile. However, we had been discussing Melchizedek anyway. So he was proving to me that he knew what was going on. So yes, go and open up to the book of Ezekiel and look at the 40th chapter and read all the way to the 48th chapter, to the end of the 48th chapter, so that you can have context. There you go, you got some homework, right? I still haven't went and looked up the schedule. I think I told you all yesterday, I think today is Mafia Soy Day. I couldn't tell you what tomorrow's day is. I'd tell you it's Nam-de-Hoon Day. So unless I find my schedule somewhere, it's gonna be Nam-de-Hoon Day. It's either... We'll see. Meanwhile, today's party is dedicated to Akati Mavis. Happy born day. Many much love to you. The theme for today's party is going out of my brainwashed mind. You see, anybody that's brainwashed wouldn't have been talking about any of the stuff that I was talking about. They would have looked at me and told me I'm out of my mind. Sure. You know those initials, TJ? Some people know me as the Joker. TJ. Yeah, I'm out of my mind. Society don't know what to make of me. Because I don't play well with others. And most people don't like how I play with their toys. Yeah. Everyone have a great day. You have my heart with you all the time. I am here in front of you because I love you. And that's not some hallmark mushy moment. Love is an action. I care enough to go and try and do something to help you get where you need to be. When I tell you I love you, that's what that means. I care enough for us all to be able to walk on the same path. If you're curious and you just want to know about something, I care enough to let you know. Then you can make your own decisions afterwards. And as a matter of fact, you can go and check, because I'm not going to tell you that I'm 100% correct. I'm not 100% perfect. I won't tell anybody that ever. I got flaws. And if you know me well enough, I might tell you some of them. Otherwise, you're going to see them. Can you say that again? YouTube froze when you were speaking about the schedule. Tomorrow is probably going to be, what did I say? Namde Hum Day. Otherwise, could easily be SOC Day. But I think SOC is the third or fourth day out of the week. So yeah, we'll meet up again tomorrow, and we've gone over time. We've made the 2-hour mark as far as broadcast is concerned, but we're at 5:30 now, which is 6:30 Eastern time. There's a million different things have been said over here in TikTok. Sometimes they just need to be heard. You're right, Akati Deborah. Exactly right. And there's been quite a few people that have come in. Wookie 99, I missed you. What's up, Wookie? Wit Chosen, the Warrior 50, Mark Robb, QT Pie 2029. Akati Mavis, you enjoy the rest of your day as well. Enjoy your yawn. Have a great one. For everybody out there, like I said, we'll be back, dawn willing, tomorrow, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, to talk about ethics in entrepreneurship. We're going to keep on digging deeper. I'll let you in on a few different things, and the more people come to me and ask questions, the more I will invite people over to the Discord channel so that we can start up classes. As a matter of fact, I'm going to go ahead and put opening date. Since yesterday we started the slate fresh, and we do a 2-week cycle in order to do all 10 special interest groups. After this 2-week cycle is when we're going to start classes in Discord. Be there. Meaning you need to show up right now with your resume and some kind of business plan or some kind of idea, some kind of, hey, I do activities and I want to get in this. I need you showing up right now telling me. That's how you will get your invite to go over to Discord. And we're going to start the classes in Discord. They don't shut down your signal in Discord. We can talk about decentralized themes over in Discord. We can talk about how you can get to some cryptocurrency that's your own name. We can talk there about how to get something similar to an LLC. However, here's the issue with an LLC. You go and get yourself an LLC, you're still part of the banking system. If you're still part of the banking system, you're part of the centralized system. If you're part of the centralized system, you have no control over what you got going. Salah. Catch up with you all later on. It's always a pleasure. My pleasure. Mucho me gusto. Many much love and respect. Hashem Yahweh Elohim Shalom Barak. Allahu Assalamu Alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Our Father's peace, blessings, and mercy be upon all of you, your families, and your circles. Till next time. You too, Akati Deborah.